On this horror timeline, we are still in quarantine. Still locked into our houses. So, you know what that means? That means we're still doing How Bad Could It Be? And I figured it's about time to get to a video series that I've had requested quite a bit. We're talking about Killjoy. After doing the Evil Bong movies and the Ginger Dead Man movies, a lot of people have requested this and said that you should go check this out if you want to see some bad movies. And I said, I mean, how bad could it be? So the Killjoy saga began back in 2000, introducing Michael here, who has a crush on Jada. But she has a gangsta boyfriend, so Michael calls upon Killjoy to take him out. Unfortunately, Lorenzo accidentally kills him, and we bounce ahead to 1 year later, and Jada is now dating Jamal. Lorenzo's gang comes across an ice cream truck driven by a clown, and he transports them to an old building. And let's look at this, because, let's see, it's a guy driving a truck that doesn't seem to be moving, Baby Boy just standing there, a close-up of the headlight, and BB moves his head, and I guess through the power of editing, we're supposed to infer that he was run over. T-Bone is then just smoked up like a joint, so I guess all of the money went to this death instead of Baby Boy's. Lorenzo gets pulled in next, and Killjoy's bulletproof, and let's count Lorenzo's bullets.
Fuck this.
Again, I know nothing about guns, but I do think that looks like a 6-shooter revolver. And count a lot more than 6 there. Our clown can spit out bullets that hit Lorenzo without managing to go through his shirt somehow. And a bum shows up to give us the backstory, although we've literally just watched it. So thanks, homeless guy, I guess. He says that you can stop Killjoy by destroying his heart and the doll, so Jada and crew go to work. They encounter undead versions of the gang and kill them, even though Jamal just kind of puts his fingers near Baby Boy's eyes. I think he's supposed to have put his fingers in there. But poor Baby Boy, I mean, he's always getting cheated on his death scenes. Killjoy transforms into Michael and Jada stabs him, but Clowny's still alive since he can't be killed in his own world. They go to destroy the doll, which also transforms into Michael, which she again stabs. Killjoy the spirit, I guess, kills Michael's spirit, I think, or something, and the day is saved. Although Killjoy shows up in Jada's bed, setting us up for another one. There's no visible date in this one, so let's roll with real-time 2000 for now. The sequel arrived 2 years later as Full Moon unleashed Killjoy 2: Deliverance from Evil, which kicks off with Nick here getting arrested for cocaine. And then we meet an assortment of delinquents being transferred by 2 officers, including low-budget scream queen Debbie Rochon and discount Eric LaSalle. There's several scenes with some excessive background noise.
Cece's pretty fine. Cece's a cold fish.
Did you spoke to her yet? About what?
Like, what is this noise? Is that a noise at your location? These are shot in 2 bathrooms, so you could have shot somewhere else, like literally anywhere else in any random bathroom that didn't have what sounds like a cement mixer right outside. Their bus breaks down, so they seek help and things get crazy, and I mean, what is it with full moon movies and stalling for time, as we're a half hour into this movie and not only has there been no Killjoy, but no mention of him either. They stumble on a voodoo priestess, and this girl recaps the first story by saying that it was a story her mom used to tell her when she was a little kid. So this one would have to be around 10 years or so after the last one? This girl's probably supposed to be at least 18, so unless her parents were telling her these stories in her teen years, and 10 years is what we're looking at, so maybe 2010? Cece here calls upon Killjoy, and he appears, but has been recast. He's now played by Trent Haga, who has done lots of things since, but I always just think of him as Jerry from Terra Firma. They've kind of dropped the whole idea of KJ having an alternate dimension that he takes people to, and now just uses, I guess, telekinesis as he makes people fly through the air and cut themselves up. He kills everyone but Martinez and innocent Charlotte, but Then Redding shows up out of nowhere and they throw holy water on Clowny, which I guess kills him? That was pretty easy. It ends with a title song.
Yeah, yeah. Killjoy. Killjoy 2. Coming back at ya. Watch out for those clowns, y'all.
That's scarier than the whole rest of the movie. So 8 years passed, and in 2010, Full Moon attempted to bring back a bunch of old series and gave us new Puppet Masters, a new demonic toys, and of course, Killjoy 3, also titled Killroy's Revenge. It starts with a man calling forth Killjoy who has a new look that's less clowny, and he creates a posse. We meet Punchy, Freak Show, and Batty Boop, who should be familiar if you watched my Evil Bong video. Killjoy doesn't get a victim's name, so he's sent back to his world. I guess this is a new rule because he wasn't called upon for revenge in the last one. They just called him up and he started killing people at random, but I guess he now has to be summoned for a specific revenge, kind of like the first one. We meet some college kids, and it looks like the series shifts focus away from the urban horror of the first two, and they receive a mysterious package on their porch. It's this creepy old mirror, and the kids just hanging up instead of throwing it in the trash like pretty much anyone else would ever do. Zilla here touches the mirror for some reason and gets transported to KJ's world, but he escapes. They're trapped in the house, and even though Zilla explained that it was the mirror that did it, they leave it up and keep looking in it. They talk about the events of Michael and say it was a decade ago, so that would definitely have been the first movie, so that would make this one around 2010 as well. The professor from the beginning shows back up and they go into the mirror to save their friend, and Killy here kills Batty himself when she gets jealous. Everyone gets captured, both sides take losses, and it turns out that the professor is Michael's father, trying to get revenge. And we see a recast Michael's ghost. The professor gets smushed, and Sandy defeats KJ by laughing at him and shouting his true name, and she goes back home, cracking the mirror and I guess killing the clown. No reason is given for this happening though, it just kinda does. Sandy is then committed, being blamed for her friend's death, and Haga makes a cameo in human form. 2 more years pass, and in 2012 we get Killjoy Goes to Hell, which begins with an old hag calling up our clown friend, whose horns are now shattered, and he's on trial in hell. Sandy is back, and they say that the last film was 3 years ago, so I guess this is 2013? The doc has a file posted up here that says August 2012, but that doesn't really mean that it's a current file, although it's a date modified, and it looks to be the folder that he was just using, so I don't know, let's roll with it and say that this one's in 2012, and that would make the last one in 2009, with the original film taking place in 1999. The second film would probably also be set in 2009, or possibly a little earlier, maybe 2008. I guess Cece's parents were telling her stories at 9 years old to freak her out. So it turns out that the devil is trying Killjoy for not being evil enough. And this cop confirms the first film's events as 13 years ago, but clarifies to say Michael was killed 13 years ago, and the gang members were killed a year later. So the opening of part 1 may have been 99, but the Killjoy scenes were indeed set in 2000. That doesn't really change the other stuff, though. I mean, I guess although it makes the second one questionable, and you know, for a police officer, Detective Erickson sure has a lot of stuff about movie contracts and trailers on his computer. We meet Skidmark, another demon, his lawyer, who helps restore the posse, and then we see his trial. And as he's found not evil, his names are deleted, diminishing his power. So the crew goes to get Sandy to speak on his evilness. The police report for Michael's death confirms that that happened in 2009, so we're definitely in 2012 here, and the devil shows Killjoy the final circle of hell, Oblivion. Sandy takes the stand, and it comes down to a trial by combat between KJ and Skids, and he transforms into like a monster sort of thing. They have a battle, which our, I guess, hero wins, and then chaos breaks out, and Hell self-destructs, and the crew escape to Earth. The next entry took 4 years, and we didn't see Killjoy's Psycho Circus until 2016, which kicks off with KJ now hornless, but he still has the wig. He recaps the previous film, and he's still on Earth, and he's at the studio from the Ginger Dead Man 2. He says they made a Killjoy movie and a sequel, so I guess you could say that the first two are in a different continuity and are just the movies that his studio made. Freak Show can talk now, and they say that he went to Yale to get an education, so most likely the same 4 years have passed in universe and it's 2016 now. Although Full Moon's official synopsis states it's 2 years later, so I guess it's actually 2014. The devil is stripped of his power and is tasked with bringing KJ back to hell. Meanwhile, our clown is hosting a cable access TV show, and if you watched my Evil Bong video and wondered why Luann suddenly was wearing clown makeup, here's the explanation, sort of. She's hired by the show to be their new baddie boop, and they reveal that Sandy indeed got away at the end of the last movie, and then Rabbit shows up, and apparently Larnell is the main sponsor of the show. Luann is appearing as Betty Boop in order to impress Larnell, which kind of explains why she's there, and, that's actually decent continuity. This web browser has a copyright of 2016, so it might actually be 2016, but I guess it may just be how long the copyright lasts. Trent Haga appears out of makeup and his head explodes. The real baddie shows up, and it's revealed that the crew is becoming mortal now that they're on Earth, and Beelzebub appears and blows up Paris. Our clown and crew launch a spaceship to fight him because, why not? This used to be a series about a demon clown you'd call up to get revenge. It might just as well now be about a TV show clown fighting Satan in space, or something. Battery reveals that she's pregnant, and Killjoy defeats Beelzebub, and they warp speed into a different universe, insinuating that they're in our universe now, and KJ prepares to begin anew.
I'm motherfucking Killjoy!
In 2019, Full Moon did something called the Bunker of Blood series and put out Killjoy's Carnage Caravan, which is basically a clip show recap of the franchise. There's no new footage of the clown crew in this one, so it's not actually a part of the canon and can be skipped, especially if you've already seen the films it's recapping. So there you have it, it's 5 movies with really sketchy continuity. This bounces around, particularly in the first 2. The original one's about a revenge clown that is called up through a doll, and you have to destroy his heart, and you have to destroy the doll. The doll is never seen again. The second one, he's just called up. There's no revenge, he's just called and starts killing, and he's killed by the holy water, which is never used again. The third one kind of goes back to the revenge thing, although now it has a mirror, and from this point on, I guess the continuity kind of flows. The revenge demon thing is kind of just dropped pretty quickly, very, very quickly. Yeah. So continuity is not exactly the finer point of this series, but how bad can it be? Is this a terrible series? I know you guys really wanted me to watch this because I think that everyone thought that this was going to be a terrible series, but I did not mind this. I thought this was actually kind of alright. The first 2 were pretty bad, particularly the second one, Killjoy 2, I think is actually the worst of the bunch. But for the most part, these were actually pretty enjoyable. I very much enjoyed part 3, 4, and 5 as kind of like a continual thing. In terms of Full Moon movies, they had pretty decent production value and seemed to actually have a decent storyline. It didn't feel like just a bunch of let's waste some time and fill up a runtime to make it more of a movie. It felt like a movie. So, all said and done, in terms of the How Bad It Can Be series, these were some of the more enjoyable ones I watched. So, if you wanted me to watch these because you thought they were torturing me, you were wrong, viewers. You were wrong. I don't know, if you haven't seen these, give them a chance, because I did not mind them that terribly much. They were pretty fun. If you like these or hate these, or think I'm completely crazy for thinking this, let me know down below. Do the likes, comments, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this video out into the internet. Let people know about movie timelines and how bad it could be. And let's see if we can get some more people watching these. And I will see you again shortly for another great video. Thanks, guys. See you soon.